Hey, welcome. It's Christine, and today we're talking about traveling like a pro. So let's see who's on here. We're going live on YouTube and Facebook. So let me make sure we're all set up here, and then we'll get going. We're going to talk about travel. So let's make sure we're live here. I hope you're excited. I am. There we go. We're live. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. This is the ninth in my series of videos talking about travel. I do have an upcoming trip to Panama next week, and I'm having a sale on my course at christineelder.com/travel that I'll tell you about later. But first, I just wanted to review some basic concepts about traveling like a pro. How do you do that? Now, let me see my notes here. So, many of you have been following me, and you know that I love to travel around the world, generally when I'm doing nature sketching and bird watching and teaching those kind of concepts around the world. And so I've had a lot of experience traveling, and so I really want to empower you to travel as well. And so it's not just something we do as a silly hobby, it's very educational. And so I really want to empower you to do it, especially those of you who are like me, solo travelers or wannabe travelers. And maybe you're starting a new chapter in your life, like I am, and you're free to travel, but you just don't have the skills or the experience yet. Maybe in the past you've traveled with a partner like I have, and then maybe you're traveling or want to travel on your own now. Or perhaps your partner doesn't like to travel or doesn't have the capacity to, the funds or the health to travel, or doesn't want to go the same places you want to go. So, anyway, I'm here to help empower you to do that. So, just a few tips first about traveling like a pro. So, one of them is, if you're a newbie and you haven't traveled much before, try not to bite off more than you can chew. In this series, I've been talking a lot about international travel and traveling to countries that are overseas, that require a flight, that have exotic foods, or that need a passport, or have a different language. And so, if you're new to travel, try not to do all of those at once. Maybe start local. So try not to, go to some place that speaks a language you don't speak, or has a cuisine you're not familiar with, or climate that you're not comfortable in. Just tackle one thing at a time. And so you might want to just start local. You might want to just go to, the neighboring county or the neighboring state, or you might want to just take a little flight to the next big city. Maybe you want to go to, maybe you live in California, you want to go check out Los Angeles or San Francisco, something easy like that. So I suggest starting small and local first if you haven't traveled before. And also, another tip is don't overschedule yourself. Leave a lot of room for whimsy. Too many times we feel like we need to, schedule everything as if it's a job and you've got things you want to do from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. But you don't want to return home from your trip needing a vacation from your vacation, right? So try to leave some room for serendipitous, whimsical things to happen to you. And also, another tip, travel light. Like I'm showing you, this is my personal item, my carry-on luggage. And I suggest really just not having too many things you have to keep track of. Don't have a personal item and a carry-on and checked bags and hats and purses and pets and everything else. Try to keep it super simple. Another thing is you want to really get packing ahead of time. For me, I'm leaving for Panama in a week. And so I'm trying to get everything done and not do it at the last minute. You don't want to be packing at midnight the night before and be all stressed out. Or you don't want to be trying to get a new phone or a new phone plan or buy different luggage or learn a new language a week before. So, don't stress yourself out. Try to be ready to travel as if you're going to go out the door 2 or 3 days before you actually are. And then you're going to really reduce a lot of your stress and nervousness, especially if you haven't traveled on your own before. When you're traveling, try to really be like a local, observe what the kinds of activities the local people are doing. Don't just do the touristy things and stay in the nice, safe, touristy part of town. Venture out, try some of the local food carts or food courts and, take the transportation the locals might take, a bus or a ferry. And so, live like a local. Maybe see a local parade or a local theater, not just staying in the safe touristy areas, which aren't actually all that safe. You might get some pickpockets. And also, if you're going overseas to a new country, try to be gracious, inquisitive, kind, patient. You don't want to spread the myth of the ugly American who expects everybody to speak English and to be at your beck and call. Try to blend in. Uh, Also, I suggest keeping a journal. So, it's easy to just be, snapping pictures on your cell phone and you think you're going to remember everything, but it really is nice to keep a journal. Of course, I'm a nature sketcher and journaler, so I love to do that. And inside my courses, I have classes on that. But you don't need any special materials, just a little notebook and a pen or pencil, and just to jot down your thoughts and your feelings and your observations, because it's really easy to forget about those once your trip is over. Uh, and lastly, time is precious. So really don't wait forever to take a trip. You might have a big bucket list trip you want to do, like, Africa or Antarctica or, I don't know, Norway. You might want to have something really big, but try to do something sooner. It's good to just take baby steps and to just get out there. And as soon as you start traveling, it'll become more comfortable. And just realizing, life is short and sometimes it's a lot shorter than we hoped it would be. You get to be our age and, you start losing friends. Like I have lost some friends in the last few years, and it really makes me take stock of my life and what's really meaningful and what I want to do in my life. And so, you can't last forever. And like one of my favorite podcasters, Mel Robbins says, life is like a melting ice cube. And it seems really imperceptible that it's melting at first, but all of a sudden it's gone. And you might never have traveled. And really, I started my traveling journey once I was, or after I was taking care of my father. He was quite sick for a while and he died a few years ago at the ripe old age of 90. But he did have a lot of regrets. And he talked a lot about how he had really never traveled since he was a child. And he was, of course, being responsible, raising me and my brothers and trying to be a good husband and parent. But that was really one of his biggest regrets at the end of his life. And I remember he used to tell me about the one big trip he took when he was about 7 years old. They took a steamship across the Atlantic to Paris, and they spent a whole season in Paris because his parents had been in World War I and were being honored in Paris at a big event. And so they spent the whole summer there when my dad was about 7 years old. And his whole life, he talked about how much that he enjoyed the French bread and the cheese, and was always encouraging me to travel. And actually, in high school, I was inspired by him, and I took 5 years of French classes in high school and college. And then I went to France several times, and that started my journey of traveling. So, it's easy to have a lot of regrets and never travel. So, you want to try it. And so, I began my journey traveling internationally in high school. And then much later, I was traveling a lot as a bird watching guide and a naturalist and a nature sketching guide, and traveling for festivals and conferences. But there were a lot of mishaps. And so I created the perfect course that I wish I would have had when I was starting out traveling solo on my own. We don't always, it's easy to think that you'll always have a partner around, whether it's a parent or a cousin or a partner to travel with. But that's not always true. And you don't want to always rely on that. You might suddenly be lacking a partner and then not know how to travel on your own. So the course I made, which is on my website, christinelder.com/travel, this is the course that I made that is what I wish I would have had when I started traveling on my own. I've told this story before, but I used to be the kind of person that was such a nervous Nelly traveling and especially flying. I used to have to hold my partner's hand when we were taking off and landing, and I felt like such a wimp. And, I let my partner do all the scheduling for the flights and the hotels and all of that. And I really realized that I was kind of a fish out of water when I tried traveling on my own. And it took a lot of online research and then a lot of just experimenting with my own travels to become confident. And so I created a course. It's called Travel Like a Pro, and it's on sale at 30% off for the next week until I leave for Panama. So I am going to Panama for 4 months. I'm going to be working on a wildlife education and conservation project there. And so this is going to be a pretty epic trip that I'm going to be sharing a lot of my adventures there and what I've learned, and also wonderful natural history stories and videos from the field with my audiences who are inside my course, Travel Like a Pro, that you can find at this link and probably at a link above or below this video in a little while. So really, this course is about not only finding the skills to travel, but the confidence as well. So, we've talked about some of those skills in this series of videos that I've been doing, skills like finding a destination, creating a budget, making your flight reservations, how to travel safely and healthily. So we talked a lot about those things, and I go into those in a lot more depth inside the course. The course also shares past trips that I've been on, that I've taken you on a virtual tour. Virtual tours of Costa Rica and Ecuador, and information about South Africa. And as I continue to build this course, I will add more of those as I continue to travel so I can bring you along virtually. But in this next 4 months, I'm going to be sharing a lot of information about the natural history and wildlife and flora and fauna of the Central American country of Panama, and the project I'm working on with my students inside my course. So, like I said, my course is called Travel Like a Pro, and it gives you the skills and confidence to travel. And whether you're brand new and you've never traveled before, or whether you have some experience, or maybe you haven't traveled in quite a while, this course will be useful for you. And like all of my online courses, it's self-paced online and 100% money back guarantee. You can check it out for 2 weeks. And if it's not exactly what you want, you can get a refund. It's really easy to find my contact information inside the course. But I've actually never had a refund. Everyone really has enjoyed the course. I have over 50 students and it's growing all the time. The course also includes interviews, so inspiring interviews with other solo travelers to give you their perspectives, because my perspective isn't, of course, the only one. Now, the course is built on all of the trials and tribulations and mistakes I've had as a traveler that I don't want you to have to have. Although sometimes mishaps in the field and in your travels are actually some of the best parts. If you don't get too injured permanently, they can be a fun travel tale, right? So, like, I've been seasick in the Amazon. I've been stung by jellyfish in the Mediterranean. I've vomited under 30 feet underwater when I'm scuba diving in the Caribbean. I've gotten unintentionally high on marijuana in Amsterdam when I didn't want to. Let's see what else. I've been interrogated by the Border Patrol when I was out bird watching late at night down near the border of Mexico. Been locked out of my car in Arizona in the Arctic. I've just about been electrocuted once, and I've had all kinds of wild adventures with insects, stinging, biting insects. So everything that could happen to a traveler just about has happened to me. And so I want you guys to learn from my adventures and my mishaps in my course. So yeah, my course, it goes over all the things to do before you even go on your trip. So yeah, how to plan your trip, itineraries, destinations, what to do in the months before, like getting your passport and creating a budget. And then lots of things about during your trip, like safety and health. And then even some steps to do after your trip. And so the course also has lots of high quality downloadable handouts that aren't in my free content that I share online that are exclusively for my paid students. So I have a lot about packing and what to pack and how to pack. I'm really passionate about that because, like I said before, I really encourage people to pack lightly so that you can travel light on your feet. And so I have this packing checklist, especially for carry on only trips to encourage you to travel with less. I have a budget template to help you think of everything that you might come across in terms of costs so that you can budget for your trip and save for it, especially if it's a big bucket list trip. Um, and I have a lot on what to wear, including my concept of the capsule wardrobe. This is basically your 10 or 15 pieces you want to travel with that are kind of mix and match. Uh, and then my epic guide and checklist to prepping and packing for adventure. Don't you love my cute little graphic I got there? So, this is a 7-page list that tells all of the different steps I take when I'm going to be planning a big international trip. And it's been worked on basically through dozens of trips and hundreds of flights. It's basically even what I use every time I fly. Like next week when I'm going to Panama, I'll be printing out a copy of that and I'll be going through that checklist. And then, since I also travel often for nature sketching and journaling, either on my own or teaching, I include in my course my comprehensive list of everything I pack with me to be able to draw and paint in the field. And I also have this guide, my quick start guide to travel journaling. So, there's a lot in this course. And again, it's 30% off now through next week, actually, when I leave. And I'm going to be continuing to add some new content, some new videos. And yeah, so it's on sale. I think it's about $87 and you can get it with credit card, with PayPal. You can pay in 4 different installments, so it's really affordable. But basically, this course is going to save you so much money. You'll get your money back 10 times over in terms of all of the money saving tips I share with you guys, and also money in terms of all the time you'll save. And the stress and the worry. So, again, I built this course because it was something that I needed when I started traveling on my own 5 years ago. Since I've traveled on my own, I've been to Ecuador and the Galapagos Islands, to Belize, to Costa Rica 3 times, and then other domestic trips as well. And then this upcoming trip to Panama. So I've been walking the talk, and I take you guys along for the ride. I'm always continuing to improve this course and update it with the information that I learn and feedback from my students. So it's always a fresh course, always more being added. And then one more really big highlight benefit of this course is every single student in the course gets to book a 1 hour Zoom call with me. So they can do it either before or after they've gone through the course, or maybe before they're taking a big trip, to help kind of brainstorm what you should do to get ready for your trip, for your particular situation that might be a little bit different than the general information I cover. So, like just last week, I had a meeting with one of my students who's going to Greece, and it's her first international trip. So, I helped her out with a lot of things that she hadn't thought about before, in terms of just scheduling and itinerary and technology and that kind of thing. So if you have any questions, I'd love to hear them. You can just put them, I think, in the comments above or below, or email me at hello@christineelder.com. And again, if you want to learn more about the course, I'll put links above and below, but you can also just go straight over to my website at christineelder.com/travel. So yeah, this course is on sale now. And once I've got it updated for the season, before I go to Panama, it's not going to be on sale again. And actually, I'll probably raise the price because it's a very, yeah, it's going to save you a lot of time and money. Okay, so I got to get going. Um, it's looking like it's about to rain here in Bend, Oregon. I got to get out and do some yard work before that happens. So take care, and I hope you've enjoyed some of the tips I shared with you for traveling, and I really hope you check out my course. So thanks a lot, and take care. Bye-bye.